This was posted in everybody's Discord yesterday. I'm going to question the consistency in the application of it, but we are introducing a new hateful conduct and harassment policy on Twitch effective January 22nd to better protect the community and to help continue moderate content using guidelines that make sense. Twitch finally recognized that LGBTQIA+, Black, Indigenous people, all types of people are on the platform, and it's not okay for the cis white male to attack those people. Nor is it okay for anybody to attack anybody else no matter what. That's what they said. Paraphrasing. So they have a new policy to help police that a little bit, which on paper can be good. I don't know if it's going to be applied the way we would like. Let's take a look. So the new things in the policy, they've added 3 sections: harassment, hateful conduct, and sexual harassment. The key takeaways for each. Harassment. They made it very clear what the deal is. The following behaviors are expressly prohibited: claiming that the victim of a well-documented violent tragedy is a crisis actor and or is lying, encouraging others to basically gang up on somebody through DDoS, hacking, doxing, swatting another person, or inciting the malicious raids of another person's social media profile off of Twitch. Hateful conduct. This is pretty simple too. Yeah, paraphrase a website, no writer I follow. Content moderation at scale is difficult to impossible. Not wrong. Not wrong. Now, stepping back from that, when you have the largest creator and the smallest creator doing the same thing that breaks guidelines, and you pick one and not the other, now we have an inconsistency problem, not an impossibility problem or a level of difficulty. It is a choice you made to allow somebody to throw their cat behind them and hit them into the wall, and to give them alcohol, and to allow them to use the N-word all within a 2-week span. That's something you allowed to happen. You allowed that behavior. This should clarify it, because now it says you can't do that. And we hope that that has weight. I don't know. It might not, but we hope that it has weight. Emotes are an important part of how we communicate with one another on Twitch, but they can be used maliciously. So emote combinations, even without additional text used in chat, will be held to this policy. I actually don't know what they were referring to with this one. My only one in my brain was the peach, the eggplant, the water, and then the peach all together could be pretty specific, right? Giving momentum has hit the follow. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Tommy No Views and Ninja should be treated and moderated the same way for the same behavior. Agreed, especially when it comes down to very clear anti-discriminatory language. It's very different when you're allowing maybe Ninja to do an activation with a brand that I don't know, like maybe not, because there's nothing in my brain that I can think of that would be a gray area on this kind of content. Very clear. I'm sure you could too with the one you have from 7 of 7. But that one is okay because, again, that's not intentionally used maliciously, right? It's more of the group uses it as a joke together. So that's okay. Given its historic and symbolic association with slavery and white supremacist groups in the U.S., displaying the Confederate flag is prohibited. This one is huge. I didn't expect Bezos to do this. It will ostracize a group of people. So again, when we talk about people and companies doing things, if this affects their bottom line, are they going to do it? Right here, the answer is no. Right here, the answer is yes, where before the answer would be no, they're not going to do it. Sexual harassment. This one is interesting in that it's very particular. I don't think idiots are a protected group. I agree. They're not. But there are a group of people that might not use the platform anymore now that that rule is in place. And typically companies, especially like Amazon, are not going to do anything to make less viewers show up on their platform, right? They're here again for the bottom dollar. So whatever they can do for that. Notable changes here on the harassment policy include repeatedly commenting on someone's perceived attractiveness. I love the way they worded this because it opens the door for covering a lot more people, even in what you believe to be positive or complimentary manner, is prohibited if there is indication that it's unwelcome. So someone has to speak up. It's very similar. Fun fact here, I follow a lot of law and police law content and books and writings and case law. I love that stuff. There's a law that, you have the right to remain silent. Fun fact, Supreme Court has ruled that you remaining silent is not your right to remain silent. You actually have to specifically invoke verbally your right to the Fifth Amendment. So you have to come out and say that you are not going to speak and invoke your right to remain silent for you to do that. So this is interesting. It stays in the same boat. It says you have to make it clear as the streamer or the moderator that that person needs to stop, or they've been timed out or channel banned. Then it's prohibited. But if you don't say anything, that person they're going to assume that they don't know that that's unwelcome in this channel, because every channel is ruled differently, right? There are some channels that you can do some of those things in, some that you cannot. Making lewd or explicit comments about anyone's sexuality or physical appearance is prohibited. Note that we do not make an exception for public figures. I love that. Sending unwanted, unsolicited links to nude images or videos is prohibited. That seems pretty straightforward. They had to put it in a line item, which means it wasn't as straightforward as I would have assumed. Zen says, I have yet to meet anyone that is showing the Confederate battle flag or draping themselves in it that isn't an unsavory individual. I see it in Wisconsin, which was firmly on the Union side. Yeah. I can name one time I've seen it where it wasn't in an unsavory manner, maybe. And again, it's me trying to be seeing the other side. It was a cemetery just here in Tampa, actually, north of Tampa. That was the Confederate cemetery, and they had a Confederate display above the generals or the officers or whomever, whatever high-ranking officials were in the battalion that they laid to rest there. So they had that there, and I can only imagine that it was to represent who they were at the time. I don't want to make any judgments. I saw that, and I was like, okay, I get that. That is a historical thing I understand. But you are right as far as people who choose to drape it. Typically, almost always, not savory. Big 50 raises a good point. We had this conversation on the show a long time ago. Reminder that Georgia's flag is actually the Confederate States of America flag, but with a Georgia state seal on it. Georgia's crazy. I don't get it. So, to get clarity, they're not launching this till the 22nd. 12/11, 12/16, 1/6. They are having a town hall, a creator camp, reviewing the FAQ, an overview of the policy. This is a lot of action for a company that has been remarkably inconsistent in their application of this policy in the past. I just hope it isn't just lip service like the last thing we talked about, where it's like, here's this thing we've done because everybody asked for it and nobody really asked for it. This is something a lot of people have asked for and they haven't applied it consistently. Now they're saying, okay, we're going to actually do it. That makes me feel a little better about the situation, I think. Yeah, and it's exactly my point too. If they were the flag they were buried with, it's acceptable because it's part of history. But at the same time, Germany banned the Nazi flag. They banned it. It doesn't exist. Was that too Orwellian? I don't know. I see both sides there. So then there's an FAQ. They're giving people time to figure it out. January 22nd. They're allowing people to appeal older content. They're allowing people to explain the policy further on both sides. They've outlined what a slur is, so there's no ambiguity. They've outlined what a hate symbol is, so there's no ambiguity. They also added this, because I know the smartasses in the internet do this. Kid needs me good content, and I catch you later. Thanks, Zen. I'll have this up on YouTube in case you missed anything. Thanks for sticking by and conversing with us. I appreciate your input and everybody's input, because we learn by speaking. Thank you for sharing. I acknowledge it's part of history, and from a history perspective, it should be known. It's the fact that it's been transformed into a symbol of hate, and I concur with that. They mention here, though, additionally, symbols appearing in the context of a developer-generated gaming content will not result in enforcement as long as the broadcaster does not leverage them to carry out any hateful behavior. So you can't be like, I don't know, I guess you can't say something real life to incite things based on what it was in the game. But there are many World War II games. There are many Civil War games that exist, so this makes sense. History should not be forgotten, because lest we repeat it, right? So we should learn from it. They've outlined a bunch of stuff about what everything means. It's insane. So I'm hopeful. I really am. I'm hopeful that we will see something come out of this positively, because there's only, in my opinion, one way we can go from this, which is up.